Hello and welcome to the SAP Tech YouTube channel. Ever feel like you're just drowning in passwords? It seems like every single application needs its own unique login. Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and demystify the whole world of identity and single sign-on architecture inside SAP SuccessFactors. It might sound a little complex, but I promise by the end of this, you'll see exactly how it all works to make everyone's life simpler and way more secure. So let's be honest. Right now, your system might feel like a tangled mess, right? A web of different logins and user accounts. Our goal here is to get you from that chaos to a clean, organized, and super efficient flow. We're going to untangle all that complexity for you and show you how these systems work together to create a totally seamless and secure experience for every single user. All right, let's start with a question I think we can all relate to. Just think about it for a second. How many different passwords did you have to type in just to get your workday started this morning? You've got your work apps, your personal accounts, cloud services. It's a constant juggle. And that password chaos, that's exactly the problem that modern identity management and single sign-on were built to solve. And the solution to all that password madness? Well, it has a name, single sign-on, or as you'll always hear it, SSO. And it's more than just a technology, it's a promise. The promise of logging in just once and getting access to everything you need to do your job. Now listen up, because the most important word on this slide is functionality. See, SSO isn't a single piece of tech you can just buy off a shelf. It's the outcome, it's the experience you're creating. It's that little bit of magic where you access dozens of different systems with just one single login. And believe me, that is a massive, massive win for simplicity and the user experience. And SSO has this lesser-known but equally important counterpart, single logout. The logic here is super simple but really powerful. If you log out of one application, let's say SuccessFactors, you are automatically logged out of all the others that are connected. From a security standpoint, this is absolutely crucial. No forgotten sessions left open. So, when you put it all together, implementing a real SSO architecture delivers some pretty obvious wins. First, your users get a fantastic, seamless experience without that constant password fatigue. Second, the organization gets much tighter security across all of its applications. And third, by centralizing how you handle authentication, you directly lower your system maintenance costs. It really is a win-win-win. Okay, so if SSO is the amazing outcome, what's the actual technology making it all happen behind the scenes? Well, that brings us to SAML. The best way to think about it is as the protocol that acts like a digital handshake between your systems, creating this circle of trust. SAML, or Security Assertion Markup Language, is the open standard that lets all these different systems talk to each other securely. Think of it as a universal translator for identity. It allows an identity provider, maybe something like Microsoft Azure, to use SAML to vouch for you. It basically tells a service provider like SuccessFactors, yep, this person is who they say they are. You can trust them. Let them in. So this flow here shows it perfectly. It's like a little digital dance. You try to access SuccessFactors. SuccessFactors says, whoa, hold on a sec, and it redirects you to your company's identity provider. That provider checks who you are and then sends a secure, digitally signed assertion. It's basically a seal of approval back to your browser. Your browser then shows this seal to SuccessFactors, which checks it, and boom, you're in. But here is the absolute best part, and this quote just nails it. For your end user, this entire complex dance is completely invisible. All of those redirects, those assertions, the validations, it all happens in milliseconds. They just click a link and they're in. It's as simple as that for them. And that is the ultimate goal. Okay, so we've got the concepts down. Now, how does SAP actually manage all of this stuff? Well, this is where two really key services come into play. The Identity Authentication Service, or IAS, and the Identity Provisioning Service, or IPS. Let's break this down with the super simple analogy, because it really makes everything click. Think of the Identity Provisioning Service, IPS, as the data mover. Its entire job is to read, transform, and sync user data between all your systems. Then you have the Identity Authentication Service, IAS, which is the gatekeeper. Its job is to manage the actual login and decide who gets in the front. So if we drill down a little bit on IPS, our data mover, its main job is to read all that employee data from a source system like SuccessFactors and then push it out to a target system. It automates the entire user lifecycle. So when a new employee is hired, their account is created automatically. When they leave, it's deleted. It can even transform data on the fly and assign permissions, which ensures everything is consistent everywhere. And now for IAS, the gatekeeper. This is an incredibly flexible and powerful tool. Of course, it can handle SSO, but it can also get way more sophisticated with things like risk-based authentication. Like, it can require extra verification if you're logging in from a strange location. And a key point here is that it can be a full-blown identity provider itself, or, and this is a huge option, it can act as a simple proxy, just redirecting logins without storing any data at all. That's a game changer for companies with really strict data policies. Okay, so that's the architecture, that's the tech. But let's be real, who cares about architecture unless it actually unlocks something for the business, right? So let's look at some real-world use cases where this all comes together and really starts to shine. And this slide right here, this is why it all matters. With a solid IAS and IPS setup, you can suddenly give new hires system access before their first day. You can secure advanced analytics and report stories. You can bring external learners into your LMS without a hassle, create one-click internal career sites, and build modern digital experiences in WorkZone. Every single one of these is a massive value add for the business, and they all depend on getting this identity foundation right. You know, this brings us to the final really big question. Looking at all these incredible capabilities, you just have to ask yourself, is your organization's identity architecture ready for the future? Is it set up to deliver this kind of agility, this kind of security, and this kind of user experience? If you'd like to do a deeper dive on any of this, please check out the detailed information and links we've put in the description of this video. And hey, if you found this explainer helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with a colleague, and subscribe to the SAP Tech YouTube channel for more. Thanks so much for watching.